Last time, I was having a conversation around the difference between doing well and doing great in your business. And if you haven't seen that video yet, I will encourage you to visit my YouTube channel and look out for that. And I'm sure there are a lot of useful tips that can help you to improve the profitability profile of your business. In that same line of thoughts today, I want to share with you around the legacy conversation. And you know, I'm very passionate about that. And it's really one of asking yourself whether you are sub-optimizing your legacy aspirations or whether you're literally doing the things that will establish the building of a legacy. And in this regard, I'm talking about a business that can survive you after you're gone. Can I also advise you then to please also look out for the video I did before in terms of how to build a business that can outlast you. But let me share something with you today. So I had another coachee who was sharing with me about, in this case, her father's point of pain around the business he had run for several years. And he had shared with her the fact that he was literally having sleepless nights and indeed confessed that sometimes he had been moved to tears, just wondering what was going to happen to his business after he was gone, especially because none of his children was interested in the business and he hadn't quite put in the systems and structures that would ensure that outside of himself, the business would continue to go on. And he wondered why he had spent his life striving, and now at the end of his years, he's finding that it looks like it was all for nothing. Well, when she got into that conversation a bit more and I started to ask a few questions, it turned out that from what I could hear from her, literally her father had one aspiration: to leave a legacy, to leave an institution that would outlive him. Yet every single thing that he was doing was creating a construct where every single element of the business was about him, to the degree that no checks could be signed without him, no kinds of meetings at management levels would hold without his being there. Literally, his managers had no power. Because they had a wide branch network, they also had storage depots within and outside of Nigeria. And I kid you not, even the ones that were abroad, materials could not be issued unless he came there and physically signed off on the requisition notes. I mean, you can imagine, therefore, that if something were to happen to him, those businesses will just die off. In fact, in many cases, customer orders could not be met because he was at one location and there was a demand for his release on the sign-off of the papers on another location. And when she tried to engage with him to say, look, this is not sustainable, he was not willing to share the contacts of all the customers, all their networks, because he felt, I've been transacting with them for so many decades, it's me that they know and they trust. That's understandable. But when we begin to think about legacy, when we begin to think about the work that we've done over the years, trying to build something that we can readily retire from, or at least leave something after we're gone, we must be willing to step back from those kinds of frameworks, those type of constructs where we are central to every single thing. So let me ask you a question, and especially if you've been running your business for quite a while, like myself. What is it about the work that you do that can survive without you? Are you required to be present for every decision? Have you created hierarchical levels of decision-making and autonomy that can ensure your people can at least, champion the business in your absence? Are you the sole signatory in your business? That's not safe, neither is it sustainable. Do you have a defined delegation of authority matrix where things are not all about you? Have you put in place a governance structure so that there is a board that you are accountable to and who in your absence can very readily and rapidly appoint an acting CEO or perhaps a full-time one from within or outside the organization? Ask yourself that. Just look at your business, what I'm asking you. Because the truth is this, we're not going to be here forever. And I think that when you look at companies that have lasted for 100, 200 years, they didn't just happen like that. It was a very intentional set of activities, set of policies and procedures and commitments that the owners of the business made to ensure that everything wasn't centered around them, that they empowered their people, they gave them the autonomy, the responsibility, and put the frameworks and systems around to support them being able to run in their absence. I ask you the question again. When you think about what you're building, and when you think about your business from a legacy perspective, what exactly are you leaving on the ground? Are you going to end up like this gentleman, one part of you seriously desiring to leave something that outlasts you, and the other side holding on to your kingdom because that's what gives you identity? Food for thought, don't you think? So I hear you say, you know what, this is easier said than done. Because, we're in an environment where sometimes you hear things like if you share your ideas, people will steal them. We're in an environment where people have hurt you, people have defrauded you, and so on and so forth. But here's the thing. The bottom line is that we must learn to trust people. And then we go back to issues around how we hire people. We go back to issues about how we build policies, systems, and structures within our business, how we put in internal controls, how we deal with risk, key man risk and the rest of them, how we build our succession pipelines, and how we use technology, because it is available, to just lock up those places where there is a potential for one person to, kind of destroy the system by some unethical act or the other. You cannot outlive your business. Your business is supposed to outlive you because it's an ongoing institution. We talk about businesses as being going concerns, but we are people of limited lifespans, hopefully long, but limited nonetheless. So if you believe that you're working towards leaving something behind, then I just want to encourage you to take those small systematic steps that ensure that your business is not built all around you. Lastly, if you're having any particular challenges that maybe are causing you to refrain from allowing people more leeway in the operations of your organization, feel free to send me an email at audrey@joezigbo.com. I'm happy to get into that conversation with you and leverage on my own experiences, give you some tips and insights that could perhaps help you to resolve those kinds of challenges. I hope this was useful to you. Take care.